people haven't paid kind of the proper respect to the idea of communicating cross-culturally, cross-linguistically. And, it's hard because we live in a society where, like, we've kind of found a ubiquitous communication tool, and that's pretty much social media. And we don't even really need, in many ways, to learn other people's languages anymore because we have so many tools at our disposal to translate very quickly. Not to mention that we've tended to choose English as our kind of universal tongue to speak in, at a global scale. And so people have kind of forgotten the art of learning languages, and not to mention have really never been faced with the value that it could bring, nor been able to, kind of give their kudos. Because, if you're somebody, for example, that was born in the US that only speaks English, you have taken for granted, in many cases, the fact that you speak one of the most sought after languages in the world, if not the most. You speak it casually, whereas you have people across the world that have been fighting, for better opportunities, and English is a stepping stone in that process. And I'm also in that category. I wasn't born in the US, but I grew up speaking English from a pretty young age, so since 4. And at least that's when I started learning English, so I have kind of the same luxury of having, known it for many years of my life. And in that ways, it's kind of a virtue, not English, but just the idea that you already have access to so many people in the world just through one language. It's not something that you chose. We were just kind of thrown in these situations, our life circumstances. But still, that being said, you can choose from here on out which languages you would like to learn, and there's no room for excuses to say that, oh, this language is too hard, or yeah, I just don't have enough time, and that's bullshit. Everybody has time to learn, not necessarily to spend hours a day studying, but everybody has time to learn. And that's what you have to keep in mind with all the tools of the modern day. There's no excuse to not work towards a goal like that if you have the motivation and the ambition. And I'd say that there's a lot of intrinsic motivation to be felt, to be experienced, if you actually open your eyes and you look at the world as not just this massive place, but rather as, a smaller, platform for you to experience. And the language ability, the competence, it help you to actually bridge that gap and make it even smaller. And this isn't an overnight process, obviously. It takes years to build up the skills to really speak a language well. And for example, yo he hablado español por 10 años y más o menos me tomó hasta ahora jusqu'à je peux parler en français, en espagnol à cet niveau. And like, it takes time. For example, even to get fluidity, which is something that I really struggle with myself a little bit. Like, I have a lot of ability in a few different languages, but sometimes I get stuck and I can't really express myself, like, so switch to a different language. But, what I'm trying to emphasize here is that you should keep an awareness about what's out there, especially in terms of languages. You should try to stay hungry because there's so much more to learn, and you should try to fix yourself on a goal because it'll bring you a lot of joy. And I think as humans we do actually find more fulfillment in working towards something than kind of the contentment of just being lazy and just kind of not really going anywhere. A lot of people say that that's what they like, but I don't really think that that's their most pure essence. So who am I to say? Bueno, that being said, if you like what I have to say, if you like these types of videos, especially the language videos, then puedes cliquear el like button and subscribe si quieres, y jusqu'à le prochain video. Okay, so peace.